stories, I'd like to welcome Jules Davidson, and Helen, if you can introduce her for me first.
So Jules has very kindly agreed to come along and talk to us today about her experience of the fibromyalgia. I can never say the word. Fibromyalgia program. I really am sorry, I always get my tongue twisted. But she's also more kindly than that agreed to be filmed for us as well, so that we can use this story to also sort of for the patients and the users of the service as part of the work that we do. I'll just hand over to Jules.
Hi, so I'm Jules Davidson, and I got diagnosed after 20 years of having fibromyalgia because it's been very taboo subject. So luckily now the diagnosis is helping me get by more with how I deal with it. And the clinic that I was referred to, I found it really, really interesting, and I think it helps an awful lot of people because we've never had that sort of understanding of where you're suffering with chronic pain, to be able to go somewhere and sort of discuss it with anybody, because there's always been what I found was I think it was assumed that it was just in my mind, like it wasn't happening because no test would show anything. But it's always been suffering with the pain on a constant daily basis, and having to cope with that. Whereas now it's very openly discussed, and the pain clinics I found very, very useful. Everybody there, Jess, Lucy and Joanna and the others, they made it a very calming, relaxing, friendly environment at these clinics, really, really useful. They discussed the whole symptoms and different ways of dealing with it, being able to deal with it. I find throughout the years I've managed to find ways that linked in with what they were suggesting to everybody. So we can try breathing exercises, meditation. As much as we do have, some of us have medication for it, to take the edge off. I think there's a lot more natural things we could do to help. So I found the clinic really, really useful to discuss that. And it's good to know that there's more people in the same environment. You know, we can all discuss with each other, and you don't feel alone. That's the best thing about it. You no longer feel like you belong. There's a lot of people there who are still scared of the pain that I found, and so they're afraid to go out anywhere or do anything, or a lot of times they don't even go out and work because they're scared of how much pain triggers the flare-ups. So I'd like to be able to help them sort of get to the point where I'm at. I do like 40 hours a week, and I work full time. I sleep most of the weekend. I do a lot of resting when I come home, but at least I'm getting out and doing different, living a normal life, but just having the pain interacted with that. The booklets we got were great because it's at least we can keep referring to them as well. I found it useful for different tips and tricks. Something I won't do everything in the booklet, but I found it really useful because it breaks it down as well. We've got where you've got the self-management, the sleep management, keeping well, and there's even the help and advice about eating healthily and doing the right exercises to not to take it too far, because obviously the pain will just flare up and you'll just make it worse. So at least there's different things that they can do, and everyone can refer to the booklet as well, which is really handy. There's also the different forms that are in there that I've actually photocopied myself to complete on a weekly, daily basis, like the diary and the moving well sheet. At least that way I can keep track of what I'm doing and see if there's any sort of recognition of am I just doing the same thing, anything that I need to change, and I can spot it easier when I'm looking at these diaries that I'm filling out. I think it'd be handy for a constant clinic to go on, or constant meet up, which I think that there are a couple that there are different sites in Chorley and Preston that have pain clinic groups. So it's just feeding that information out and making people be more aware, and just rather than people be feeling scared to go to groups like this, it's good to know that doctors and consultants, etc., are helping and wanting to support it, because it's I think fibro, as much as it's common as a cold in America, we're still learning about it over here in England, even though so many people have it. It's just getting that understanding across of what we go through and how much of a struggle it can be. So the clinic itself and the moving well groups they're much better to know about and really pleasing to join. And it's really handy that doctors can refer us to these clinics when we need help and support. It's a bonus. I think more like that should be done to sort of help patients and better understanding when they go and see the doctors needs to be taken care of, you know, because there are some doctors again that I still think aren't too sure about it. So ones that are fully aware that you're suffering with pain, we've tried the test, obviously it's not showing anything up, so it's leading to the kind of fibromyalgia side of it. Yeah, at least they've got other people to talk to, and these groups I think are fantastic. I'm really, really pleased that NHS have got a moving well group to go to. And the exercises that they did at clinics, they were very nice. I mean, they played the meditation music and the audio thing, and again, people can do it at their own pace. There's still things that I need to still do myself, because I find it hard work sometimes doing a full-time job, but I do need to learn how to pace more, and I do keep going back to my booklet to make me do it. So it's just, it helps yourself teach how to deal with the pain, and when you get to a point of, when I get my flare-ups and it's unbearable, at least I can still go to this and just remember. And we have had the printouts of how to do the breathing exercises properly, sitting on the chair doing the exercises, which I find do ease it off. It just calms me down a lot, because when you start panicking it just flares up even more, and then you overthink it and it flares up even more. So the exercises are really worth doing, and I think it's great that people can go to these clinics to get that information, and the team are very, very supportive. As long as I think everybody is more aware of fibromyalgia and chronic pain itself, other issues that cause chronic pain, as long as that understanding is across, I think these clinics are definitely worth it. Definitely worth it.
Thank you very much. Questions for Jules? Linda?
I'm really interested in Jules. Thank you for your story about you working 40 hours a week, because that's quite considerable feat for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that enough's done in terms of informing and educating employers
No.
as to how to support people suffering from fibromyalgia?
Personally, I don't think there is. I think they need more awareness, and they need to understand for the care for their employees. At the minute, I'm still struggling with certain items at work, even to the point of, I'll take this morning as an example. It's very hot weather, which is great for me, but every single aircon was on to the full amount so that everybody can cool down and the windows open. I had to go and sit in a warm area because the cold flares it up. So rather than everybody getting upset with me turning it all off, I have to go and find some hot. But they do, I mean, my work is great in the fact that I've been given the option, if I need to, I can work from home, because I do have that ability. But I do think in general, employees do need to be made more aware of any employees with this kind of condition, because they need to be able to adjust and assist with what their needs are. Because it is tiring, it's a lot of pressure, Sometimes I go home and I fall asleep, to be honest.
Okay. Trish?
So thank you, Jules. That's really interesting. So you mentioned the meetings. Are the meetings frequent enough for you? Because you evidently get a great deal of support from them. And the supplementary question to that is the location okay, and is the convenience of the times and things okay, seeing as you're spending 40 hours?
Well, yeah. I mean, luckily with me working, I was able to have that time because I class it as a medical appointment. So okay. I was able to attend the meetings. I don't think they'd have had a choice anyway. But the locations are great. Yeah, they're in sort of like central areas. You've got Clayton Brook, Chorley and Preston, and they're all easy enough areas to get to. What was the first question?
And the timings of them, you've said it's a medical appointment for you, so you can leave work, but there could be other people
that are struggling. Yeah.
Might struggle with
where they're struggling with the timings. It's in an afternoon, which I think is suitable, but if people are struggling, there could be, I think maybe even, I know it sounds harsh, but weekend ones maybe would be suitable for people, or even in the evening, if they prefer the evening ones. Myself, I couldn't do evening ones because at that point I'm very worn out and exhausted. and I can't do anything else, I'm done. So afternoons for me, or and maybe for a couple of others that I spoke to at the clinic, they loved the timing. They thought the timing was great. In the afternoon, they found it very suitable.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah, thank you, Jules. I think once again you've illustrated really well how one case study, one story can actually have as much more impact than reams of research and reports. So I think that's really important. From a Health Watch perspective, we know that. There were two things that really prompted my questions. One was you talked about eventually being diagnosed, that then meant that you got the support that you needed. So what got in the way of that actually happening? Because that was obviously a pivotal moment for you.
Yeah.
Right, that's the first.
Basically, nobody knew what was wrong. Nobody knew, and I don't think enough was tried to try and find out what was wrong. I just kept getting sort of sent away with a common back problem, which is there. My pain's up here and down my legs. So although they would put it down as a back problem and they were just sending me away with medication, it was just difficult, and I went through the whole depression part of it. I went through all the being very, very low. I used to drink a lot. I used to do anything to take my mind off it and get out of the situation. And then I turned I did turn that around. So then I basically turned my whole life around and thought, I know I'm going to push again. So I started going back to the doctor again, saying I need to get somewhere with this. So I did that for another sort of 8 months prior to diagnosis. And I had to ask to go and see a rheumatologist. They didn't offer me. I actually asked myself, which the doctor I saw at the time sort of rolled her eyes, but I was like, no, please, can you send me to a rheumatologist? I think I need to see one, because I was advised by somebody else who had already been diagnosed. She lives in Birmingham, and I met her in Egypt, and she said, no, get to see a rheumatologist. So I did. I got the appointment, and that's when I was diagnosed. Straight away, within 5 minutes after seeing her, she knew straight away. So, but it's just the previous 20 years I sort of struggled a lot.
That's so interesting actually, because what you've described there is somebody with tremendous tenacity that is prepared to keep asking the question, and meanwhile suffering from all sorts of other things that has an impact on service delivery, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that was really related to my second question, because the other thing I was very struck by was the balance between what you knew the clinic, etc., could support you with, what you had to do for yourself, and your willingness to get that balance right. Now, not everybody will have the willingness or the tenacity to do the stuff for themselves, to make what's being provided effective, I think. How can we help more people achieve that balance?
Yeah, I think I was lucky because I was already carrying out a lot of the stuff before I went to the clinic, you see. So after speaking to the other patients, I think they aren't aware until they go and see the doctor about having this route to go to. And I think if more knowledge was out there about, even before having to keep going to see, if you've been diagnosed, I think more knowledge, either by post or advertising, to state that these groups are available. All you need to do is A, B and C to be able to go to these groups. Or you can do these other options, which are the groups that are already sort of pain clinics in Chorley and Preston anyway. But I think to get into the moving well part of it, I think more advertising could be done, because I had no idea about it. I mean, I was referred to it, and then I was like, I've got an appointment or something, I don't know why. I'm like, why have I got this? Because I didn't inquire about it. So it was a bit of it made me laugh, because I thought, okay, I'm getting invited now to appointments. I wasn't aware of. But yeah, I think just more knowledge when they go to the doctors to be told about it, and a more generic information for people to know that they are there, and if you need to join these clinics, then you need to do A, B and C, or what possibility you want to contact a number, or I think it needs to be made more aware of. Whenever you make this appointment, you may get heard from here. You may be invited to this other part, rather than having it sprung on you.
Well, you've certainly made a really strong case for the direct involvement of people in shaping and communicating those services.
So Jules, thank you very much on behalf of the governing body, and I think Sue summarised this nicely for us. There's often more learning, understanding and insight from one person's story than the reams of information sometimes we get.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on.